Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into a coin that might be sitting in your pocket change right now, a coin that looks ordinary at first glance, but could be worth an astonishing $63,598. That's right, we're talking about the legendary 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln 1-cent penny, a coin that has baffled collectors and amazed historians for decades. So sit back, relax, and join me on this fascinating journey through U.S. numismatic history as we uncover how and why a single 1976 Lincoln cent with no mint mark has skyrocketed in value, and why it might be hiding in plain sight. Let's start with the basics. The Lincoln 1-cent penny has been a staple of American currency since 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the original Lincoln wheat cent was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person. Fast forward to 1976, and the Lincoln cent was still going strong, though the reverse had changed in 1959 to feature the Lincoln Memorial. That means the 1976 penny shows Lincoln's portrait on the obverse, the front of the coin, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which was designed by Frank Gasparo. Now, here's where things start to get interesting. By 1976, the U.S. Mint was producing Lincoln cents at multiple locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Normally, coins minted in Denver and San Francisco carry a small D or S mint mark located just below the date on the obverse. Philadelphia, however, did not use a mint mark on the 1-cent coin at that time. That means if you find a 1976 penny with no mint mark, it was likely made in Philadelphia, and millions of them were. So why is this one worth $63,598? What makes it so special? Well, not all no mint mark 1976 pennies are valuable. The vast majority are only worth face value, 1 cent, because they were mass-produced. But in the world of coin collecting, a few key factors can launch a penny from your change jar into the stratosphere of value. These factors include condition, rarity, historical significance, and errors. The 1976 penny we're talking about is not just any ordinary example. It's what collectors call a mint state, or MS coin, and more specifically, it's been graded MS 67 red by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. What does that mean? It means the coin is in virtually perfect condition, no scratches, no handling marks, brilliant luster, and an even coppery red color that has been preserved for decades. Out of the tens of millions minted in Philadelphia, only a tiny handful survive in this pristine condition. And when something is both rare and perfect, collectors go wild. In fact, this particular 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln cent was sold at auction for an incredible $63,598 due to its top-tier grade, stunning color, and extreme rarity. It's the kind of coin that serious collectors dream about because it completes their sets, enhances their portfolios, and represents a once-in-a-generation find. So, how can you tell if you might have one of these valuable coins? Start by looking at the date. If it reads 1976 and there's no mint mark under the year, you've got a Philadelphia minted cent. Now examine the coin's condition. Is it shiny, bright, and seemingly untouched by time? You'll need a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to check for any scratches or wear. If it looks perfect, it could be worth having it graded. A professional grading service will examine the coin and assign a numeric score from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless example. The closer you are to that MS 67 red or higher, the better your chances of a huge payday. It's also worth mentioning that even slightly lower grades can fetch impressive prices. A 1976 no-mint mark penny in MS 66 red condition could still bring in hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the market and buyer demand. Now let's talk about the market. Why is the value so high right now? It's all about supply and demand. Coin collecting has been gaining popularity, especially with younger generations discovering the thrill of treasure hunting. As more collectors enter the hobby, the demand for top-tier specimens has soared. Combine that with the fact that only a few high-grade 1976 no-mint mark pennies exist, and you've got a recipe for record-breaking auction prices. Moreover, copper pennies, like the 1976 Lincoln cent, are increasingly valuable in and of themselves. These pre-1982 cents are made of 95% copper, which has intrinsic value as a metal. Though it's illegal to melt them for scrap, the metal content alone is worth more than 1 cent. So, in essence, your penny has both collectible and commodity value. Another important factor in the rise of this coin's value is the grading community. As more people get their coins graded, it becomes easier to compare values and rarity, and auction records help drive future prices. When one coin sells for $63,598, it sets a benchmark, and other collectors begin scouring their collections and coin rolls in hopes of finding another example that can reach or exceed that price. So, what should you do if you think you've found a 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that might be worth big money? First, handle it carefully. Always use gloves or hold the coin by the edges to avoid fingerprints. Place it in a protective sleeve or flip. Then, take high-quality photos under good lighting and compare your coin with known examples online or in grading guides. If it looks promising, send it to a reputable grading service for evaluation. Wrap-up. Let's recap what makes the 1976 no-mint mark Lincoln penny worth up to $63,598. It was struck in Philadelphia and has no mint marked. It is in mint state condition, ideally graded MS 67 red or higher. It is extremely rare in that grade. The coin market is hot, with high demand for top-tier Lincoln cents. Copper content adds intrinsic value to so keep an eye on your change, folks. That humble penny could be a gold mine in disguise. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing coin stories that could change your life. Until next time, happy hunting and may your next penny be a treasure. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we uncover the secrets of coins hiding in plain sight, those everyday pennies that could turn out to be worth thousands, or even tens of thousands of dollars. Today, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1977 Lincoln 1 cent penny, a coin that once jingled in pockets and now can sell for as much as $53,862 on the current collector's market. Yes, you heard that right. One little copper penny with a D mint mark from 1977 is making headlines for its jaw-dropping value. So how did a coin like this go from ordinary to extraordinary? What makes this specific penny so valuable? And how can you know if you're holding a treasure in your own coin jar? Stick around, because we're breaking down the history, the minting, the errors, and most importantly, the current market value of this phenomenal coin. The historical backdrop. Let's begin with some historical context. The year was 1977. America was emerging from the Vietnam War era and disco fever was sweeping the nation. On the coinage front, the U.S. Mint continued to produce the Lincoln cent, a coin that had been in continuous circulation since 1909. The obverse featured the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design had stood the test of time, representing freedom, integrity, and American history. The reverse, at that time, displayed the Lincoln Memorial, a design by Frank Gasparo that had been used since 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, now in 1977. 3 major U.S. mint facilities were responsible for producing pennies: Philadelphia, no mint mark; San Francisco, S mint mark, primarily for proofs; and Denver, D mint mark. The Denver Mint alone produced over 4.2 billion Lincoln cents in that year. That's right, billions. So, you might be wondering, if there are billions of 1977 D pennies out there, how could one possibly be worth over $53,000? Understanding the rarity here is where things get interesting. While billions were made, not all coins were created equal. Most of these coins went into circulation and lived hard lives, getting scratched, worn down, bent, or damaged in other ways. The vast majority today are only worth face value. But occasionally, just occasionally, something exceptional happens. A coin escapes circulation and is preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition. Or it is struck with a rare mint error. Or it features a highly unusual die variety. The coin that fetched $53,862 wasn't just your average penny, it was a flawless example, preserved in mint state condition. Possibly graded MS67 plus red by a major grading service like PCGS or NGC. Key features and errors to watch for. So let's take a closer look at what collectors are seeking when it comes to the 1977 Lincoln penny. First and foremost, color and surface matter. Coins are graded not just on wear but also on color, brown, red-brown, or red. Red pennies are considered the most valuable because they retain their original copper brilliance. Combine that with a high mint state grade, and you're in rarefied territory. Next, look for errors. Some 1977 pennies are known for double die obverse, where the date, Liberty, or Lincoln's profile may show signs of doubling. Other error types include off-center strikes, broad strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchet. These errors can increase value dramatically depending on rarity and condition, but the absolute top of the market has been reserved for the highest grade coins with perfect luster, no contact marks, and full red coloring. These coins are often found in sealed rolls or mint sets that have been stored away from heat, moisture, and handling for decades. Auction records and current market value. Now, let's talk numbers. According to major auction houses and price guides, one specimen of the 1977 Lincoln penny sold for an astonishing $53,862 at auction. That price reflects not only its pristine condition, but also the growing demand for high-grade copper coins from the 1970s. As more collectors enter the hobby and seek to build registry sets, collections ranked by grade coins like this see dramatic increases in value. Today, even mid-range mint state coins can sell for between $20 and $150, depending on their grade. But if you come across one that's graded MS67 red or higher, you're looking at a coin that could fetch thousands, or in this incredible case, tens of thousands of dollars. It's important to have your coin authenticated and graded by a reputable service to truly understand its value. Where and how to find these coins, you might be asking. How do I find a 1977 penny that's worth this much? While the odds are slim, it's not impossible. Start by checking any old penny jars, especially coins that have been stored in dry, cool conditions. Look through rolls of pennies from banks, coin dealers, or estate sales. Join local coin clubs or attend coin shows where collectors often trade and sell coins. Once you find a promising 1977 penny, inspect it under a magnifying glass or coin loop. Check for sharp details, mint luster, and full red color. If it looks promising, consider sending it to PCGS or NGC for professional grading. It's the only way to unlock top dollar from collectors and auction houses. So there you have it, the story of the 1977 Lincoln penny. A copper coin that once cost just 1 cent to produce and is now turning heads for being worth $53,862. It's a testament to how something ordinary can become extraordinary with the right combination of rarity, condition, and timing. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, keep your eyes open. The next coin you find might just change your financial future. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like button if you found this video helpful, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and drop a comment if you've ever found a valuable penny. Until next time, keep searching, keep learning, and happy collecting. Have you ever held a common coin in your hand and wondered if it might secretly be worth thousands of dollars? Today, we're uncovering the mystery behind one of the most shocking treasures in U.S. coin collecting history, the 1977 no-mint Mark Lincoln 1-cent penny. This humble-looking coin might just be sitting unnoticed in your pocket change, and it could be worth a staggering $97,562. That's right, nearly $100,000 for a single penny minted over 4 decades ago. But what makes this particular 1977 penny so valuable? Why does it have no mint mark? Where did it come from? And most importantly, how can you tell if you have one? Let's take a journey through the fascinating origin of this rare coin, explore its numismatic significance, and discover how a seemingly ordinary 1-cent piece became a goldmine in the eyes of collectors and investors. Cut to historical footage of the U.S. Mint in the 1970s. The year was 1977. America was celebrating its bicentennial spirit. Gas was cheap, disco was alive, and Lincoln pennies were being struck by the millions. In fact, over 4 billion Lincoln cents were produced that year across 3 major U.S. mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. While Denver pennies bear the D mint mark and San Francisco pennies often carry an S for proof issues, coins struck in Philadelphia at that time had no mint mark at all. That's right, Philadelphia minted pennies in 1977 were completely blank where the mint mark would normally appear. But here's the twist. Not all no-mint mark pennies are created equal. The majority of Philadelphia coins are common, virtually worthless beyond their face value or slight premium for collectors seeking uncirculated rolls. But a tiny handful, literally just a few known examples, of 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln cents have been discovered with extraordinary characteristics that make them incredibly rare and valuable. Zoom in on a high-resolution photo of a 1977 no-mint mark penny. So what makes this specific penny so special? To answer that, we need to look at its striking details. Some of these rare 1977 no-mint mark pennies exhibit nearly perfect minting, a rich copper-red luster that has been preserved over decades, and die characteristics that show sharpness and brilliance far beyond the usual strike quality of the era. Most importantly, they are in what coin grading experts call mint state condition, graded MS67 or higher on the Sheldon scale, which is almost unheard of for coins that were mass-produced and circulated heavily. Imagine a penny that has never seen a vending machine, never sat in a dirty pocket, and never rolled through a cash register drawer. That's what makes these rare pieces extraordinary. And that's where the market begins to pay attention. Cut to interview clip with numismatist or coin auctioneer narrator. Leading coin grading agencies like PCGS and NGC have certified a microscopic number of 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln cents in top condition. These coins have fetched astonishing sums at auction houses across the country. In one remarkable sale, a pristine 1977 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, graded MS67 red, sold for a jaw-dropping $97,562. Just 1 cent turned into a small fortune. Let that sink in. Cut to viewer-friendly tips and guides. Now you're probably wondering, how can I tell if I have one of these pennies? First, grab a magnifying glass and check the date. If it says 1977 and has no visible letter below the date, you may be holding a Philadelphia minted coin. But remember, not all no-mint mark pennies are valuable. It's the condition, rarity, and color that matter most. Look for coins that appear uncirculated, sharp lines, no nicks or scratches, and a deep, almost fiery copper-red shine. Second, consider getting your coin professionally graded. Sending it to a reputable coin grading company like PCGS or NGC will give you a certified grade that determines its true market value. If your coin earns a grade of MS66, MS67, or even higher, then you're possibly in possession of a coin that collectors will fight over at auction. Cut to a chart showing value trends over time as the demand for rare Lincoln cents has grown over the years, especially among passionate collectors. The prices for high-grade examples have continued to climb. In 2005, similar coins sold for a few $1,000s. A decade later, prices crossed 5 figures. And now, in the rarest of conditions, they're worth nearly $100,000. This is not just a fluke, it's a sign of a strong numismatic market where rarity, condition, and historical context combine to form incredible investment opportunities. Cut to closing scene with penny spinning dramatically on a table. So next time you're digging through your change jar, take a second look. That little 1977 penny might not just be a piece of pocket change. It could be a once-in-a-lifetime treasure hiding in plain sight. With a current estimated market value of $97,562, The 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln cent proves that sometimes the most ordinary coins carry the most extraordinary stories. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into one of the most valuable modern-era pennies in U.S. history. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story about rare coins that could change your life. Until next time, happy hunting, and may your next penny be a jackpot in disguise. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the world of rare coins, numismatic treasures, and hidden gems you might already own. Today, we're focusing on one of the most mysterious and valuable pennies ever struck in the United States, the legendary 1982 no-mint mark Lincoln cent. Stay with us, because by the end of this video, you might be digging through your penny jar with a flashlight and magnifier, setting the historical context. Let's roll back the clock to the year 1982. Ronald Reagan was in the White House, gas was under $1 a gallon, and Michael Jackson's Thriller was shaking up the music world. But something else was happening quietly at the United States Mint, a major transition in the materials used to make the 1-cent coin. That year, the mint switched from using 95% copper to a cheaper alternative, zinc coins with a thin copper plating. This switch was driven by rising copper prices. It was simply getting too expensive to keep minting pennies that cost more than 1 cent to produce. So halfway through 1982, the mint began rolling out the new zinc cents. But here's the twist. Both copper and zinc pennies were produced that year, and there were multiple variations in weight, composition, and mint marks. There were actually 7 known varieties of 1982 Lincoln cents. These include large date and small date versions, struck on both copper and zinc planchets and minted with or without a mint mark, depending on their origin. Most were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Now here's where the story gets interesting and extremely valuable. The rarity of the 1982 no-mint mark small date copper penny among these 7 varieties. One stands alone in terms of scarcity and value, the 1982 no-mint mark small date copper cent. The key word here is copper, not zinc. While millions of 1982 no-mint mark zinc small date pennies were minted, only a very small number of copper versions were ever confirmed to exist. For years, collectors thought the 1982 small date copper penny with no mint mark didn't exist. That was until one was authenticated by a third-party grading service in the early 2010s. Since then, only a few others have turned up. Each one sent shockwaves through the coin collecting community. Why is it so rare? Simple. During the chaotic transition from copper to zinc, a few copper planchets, the blanks used to mint the coins, got mixed in with the new batches. They were struck with the small date dies and released into circulation, completely unnoticed for decades. That mistake is now worth thousands of dollars. What makes this coin worth over $83,000? So let's talk money. The most valuable known specimen of the 1982 no-mint mark small date copper penny sold at auction for an astonishing $83,458. That's the kind of money that buys you a brand new luxury car or a sizable down payment on a house. But it's not just the rarity. Condition matters a lot. The coin that brought in over $83,000 was in incredible shape. It had never been in circulation. It had a perfect strike, minimal flaws, and was preserved in near mint condition. Graded MS 68 by a professional grading service, it was essentially flawless. That combination of rarity and pristine condition created the perfect storm of value. Even a lower-grade 1982 small-date copper penny with no mint mark could be worth thousands. But finding one that's uncirculated and well-preserved? That's the golden ticket. How to tell if you have one, okay? So how do you find out if you have one of these rare pennies? First, you need to determine the date style. 1982 pennies came in both large date and small date varieties. You can spot the small date by looking at the number 2. On small date coins, the curve of the 2 is more delicate and the numbers are more closely spaced. The tops of the numbers are more aligned in height. Next, you need to determine the composition. Is your penny copper or zinc? The easiest way to find out is to weigh it. Copper pennies from 1982 weigh about 3.11 grams, while zinc pennies weigh only about 2.5 grams. You'll need a precise digital scale that measures to 2 decimal places. If you've got a small date, no mint mark 1982 penny and it weighs over 3 grams, you may have hit the jackpot. Finally, you should have the coin authenticated by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm the metal content and assess its condition, which plays a huge role in determining its value. So there you have it. The 1982 no mint mark small date copper Lincoln penny, a once overlooked coin that's now worth up to $83,458. It's a shining example of how small details can lead to massive value and how a tiny piece of metal from decades ago could still be hiding in your change jar, piggy bank, or old coin collection. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos about valuable coins, rare errors, and how to sell them for top dollar. And let us know in the comments, have you ever found a rare coin in your pocket change? Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and who knows, the next valuable penny might be sitting right in your hands. Outro music fades in. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Hello and welcome back, fellow coin collectors, treasure hunters, and Lincoln penny lovers. If you're someone who enjoys the thrill of digging through pocket change or just wants to know if that old penny stashed in a drawer could make you rich, then today's video is exactly what you need. Because we are diving deep into one of the most surprising and potentially lucrative finds in modern American coinage, the 1998 Lincoln 1-cent penny. Yes, you heard that right. A penny from 1998, struck at the Denver Mint with that famous little D mint mark, is making waves in the numismatic world. Some of these rare pennies, under the right conditions, are selling for an eye-popping $57,530. That's right, $57,530. For a coin that was once worth just a single cent. So sit tight, grab a magnifying glass, and let's explore the fascinating backstory of this modern-day treasure. We're going to look at the history of the Lincoln penny series, how the 1998 D stands out, what unique features can make this coin worth tens of thousands, and what the current market trends are showing right now in 2025. Let's rewind for a moment. The Lincoln penny was first introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, and not just any person, but one of America's most iconic leaders. Since then, the Lincoln cent has undergone a number of design changes and composition shifts, including the addition of the Lincoln Memorial Reverse in 1959 and then the switch to the Union Shield Reverse in 2010. But the coin we're discussing today, the 1998 Lincoln Memorial Cent, may look pretty ordinary at first glance. Struck at the Denver Mint, the majority of these pennies were made of copper-plated zinc. Hundreds of millions were produced. So what makes one of them worth more than the average car? The answer lies in an incredible combination of rarity, minting errors, condition, and collector demand. Let's break it down. First and foremost, minting errors are what push common coins into the stratosphere of value. In the case of the 1998 D penny, some coins were struck using proof dies or with misaligned dies, double dies, or other striking anomalies. These rare errors can create coins that are visually unique. Think doubled letters, a sharper than normal design, or even partial missing features due to planchet issues. But error alone isn't enough. Condition is critical. When we talk about coins that sell for thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, we're almost always talking about coins in mint state condition. That means these coins have no signs of wear. They look just as they did when they left the mint more than 2 decades ago. Some are even graded MS68 or MS69 by professional coin grading services like PCGS or NGC, which puts them near perfect on the Sheldon scale. Now let's talk about provenance and auction history. One example of the 1998 D penny, reportedly in pristine, uncirculated, and professionally graded condition, sold for a staggering $57,530 at auction. Yes, a coin that likely cost less to mint than the paper it was wrapped in ended up making a collector extremely wealthy. And this isn't just hype. As more people become aware of how rare era coins can be, the market for high-grade Lincoln cents continues to grow. So, what can you do if you think you have a valuable 1998 D penny? First, inspect it carefully. Use a magnifier to look for signs of doubling on the date, mint mark, or lettering. Check the condition. Are there any scratches, nicks, or signs of wear? If not, you might be holding something special. Then consider getting it graded by a third-party grading service. This gives your coin an official certification of its quality and authenticity, which is crucial for getting top dollar in the market. Grading fees can vary, but the investment is often worth it if the coin is potentially valuable. Now let's look at current market trends as of 2025. With inflation, a booming collectibles market, and increasing interest in modern-era coins, values for high-grade Lincoln cents are on the rise. More collectors are targeting late 90s pennies, especially Denver mint issues with low populations and high grades. That means your 1998 D penny could be even more valuable now than it was just a year ago. The takeaway? Don't overlook the small change in your possession. The 1998 D Lincoln 1-cent penny might be one of the most valuable coins hiding in plain sight. Whether you're new to coin collecting or a seasoned numismatist, it's time to double-check your stash. Who knows, you might be sitting on a piece of copper-plated history that could change your life. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming deep dives into coins that could make you rich. And as always, keep searching, stay curious, and never underestimate the value of a single penny.